All right, we're going to move on to our 9:05 a.m. item. Presentation of proclamation commending Scott De Leon for his dedication and service to the County of Lake, and Supervisor Green will read the proclamation. I think that family is supposed to come up with the individual. I think it's part of protocol.
You don't want to come up here either, so let's make it a party anyway. Come on.
That is true.
Oh, that
All the
is
way.
true. In for a penny, in for a pound, right? Mr. De Leon.
Mr. Green.
Family. A proclamation commending Mr. Scott De Leon for his dedication and service to the County of Lake. Whereas nearly 25 total years of dedicated and inspiring service. Who wrote this? Okay. Inspiring service with the County of Lake and 4 decades of rich and valuable community and professional contributions to Lake County's communities. Scott De Leon will retire June 28, 2024. And whereas Scott gained early experience as part of the Ruzicka Associates Summer Survey crew and assumed a County of Lake role as an Engineering Tech 3 shortly after graduating from Chico State University in 1987. And whereas he additionally earned, I hear oohs in the audience, that's unusual. It's a long resume. Whereas he additionally earned his civil engineering license in 1991 and was recognized with numerous Board of Supervisors commendations and multiple promotions in the first decade of his career for his outstanding service to the community. And whereas Scott is a proud husband of nearly 30 years to his wife, Melody, a highly engaged and loving father to their 2 sons, Joseph and Max, and has been a supportive and dedicated teacher and coach to Lake County youth, founding the West Shore Youth Basketball League with Melody in 2007 and leading the basketball team at his alma mater, Clear Lake High School, to the greatest successes in the school's history, while developing multiple athletes who went on to play high-level college sports. And whereas following a decade of successful work in the private sector, including management of his own engineering firm, he returned to county services as Water Resources Director in May 2010 and has served in director-level roles for the full intervening period, bringing positive and team-focused leadership during times of normal operations, developing numerous staff that have become valued County of Lake leaders, and critically contributing to county emergency response and recovery efforts. And whereas in 2015, Scott was honored alongside Congressman Mike Thompson for outstanding leadership in protecting America's environment and economy by reducing invasive species-related risk through Lake County's innovative quagga and zebra mussel program, earning the Outstanding Achievement by a Local Government Agency award. And whereas in 2022, he was recognized as the County Engineer Association of California's Engineer of the Year, culminating decades of contributions to CEAC. And whereas Scott has made diverse and dynamic career-long contributions to his home community, providing an example for all Lake County youth of what can be achieved by leveraging experiences gained through professional opportunities and training for public service. We're almost there. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed, Scott De Leon, this man right here, is hereby commended for his dedication, passion, and tireless efforts to uplift Lake County's communities and the County of Lake organization, and we wish him good health and rich and enduring happiness during his retirement. Passed and adopted this 18th day of June 2024. Standing up, that's right. I know Scott is a man of few words, but you get him wound up. Let's see how it goes.
Now, this is going to be few words. So, Kathy, my sister-in-law, is here. Thank you, Kathy, for being here. Happy to share this with my wife, Melody. Truth of the matter is, none of this gets accomplished without her. So she's been my greatest supporter. She's also been my greatest critic, and has helped me become the person who I am today. So thank you, and looking forward to the next chapter. So thank you, board and administration, for this. That's greatly appreciated. I'll tell you, I heard a ooh in 1987. I graduated from Chico State and started here, and it seems like it was just yesterday, but my goodness, that's been a long time. And seen a lot of really cool changes, seen a lot of really cool things. When we first started here, we did plans by drafting them by hand with a pen and Mylar, and now everything's done by computer, and it's been remarkable. Remember when we got our first computer? I know that may sound hard to believe, but we didn't have computers when I started here, and you wanted to type or you wanted a memo or something to go to the board. You hand wrote it and you gave it to somebody to type. And what amazing technology we have today versus, again, it doesn't seem like it was that long ago. Thank you to all of you who have come here today, taking time out of your day to be here. I appreciate it. And all I can say is thanks. Appreciate it.
Board members, I know you aren't going to let him off easy. So before the photo op, let's hear from the board.
Scott, I'll start out with your flaw. You don't know how to say no. I think that you're always up for the challenge, and I think that it exhibits what kind of a player you are in the team. How many departments did you end up taking over eventually? Because you said yes, because the answer was never no. You always wanted to help to make Lake County be a better place. I appreciated the fact that you and I can have a good, healthy relationship where I can walk up in your office and say, "You're mad at me, let's talk," and that we would have good conversations, and we would walk away in a much better place. You and I made a great connection at one point. Our sons are very similar, and I know that I walked away from that office that day. I don't think that our relationship will ever be the same since then. So I look forward to continuing that friendship outside of just work. I'll stop giving you crap now. And definitely well-deserved. Thank you for your service to the community, and we look forward to seeing how happy you are while you're fishing.
Scott, just wanted to give you your best on your retirement. I know that it's well deserved, especially working with me in the town halls that I represent and all of the issues. And thank you for coming to them and being there and explaining why things were happening the way it was. And I always did my best to support you, give you a heads up, make sure you knew what was going on, and definitely not throw you under the bus. So again, just your hard work, your knowledge. At times I could just pick up the phone or email and you knew exactly what was going on because of the historical knowledge as well. And so not only were you technically savvy about that subject, you also just knew the history of it. So it made it a lot more, I guess, I wouldn't say convenient, but just more auspicious for all of us to be able to just be in touch with you on some of these things. So it's going to be something we'll have to fill some shoes with, but you really deserve this. I know that sometimes it gets to you and you're just like, I could tell, like here's another thing, here's another day, and so I commend you as a good leader, and you'll be dearly missed, but then it's well deserved. So enjoy. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So as I was reviewing the budget book, I I'm amazed at how many places your fingers are in that book and in the county as a whole. You've touched so many projects and departments and communities over the years. And I'm just so deeply appreciative of your service, both of you. I see you, Melody, out at all the events too. And I love the relationship that we've built too and the conversations that we've had. I'm so happy for you to be able to enjoy your retirement, have those campfires and guitar singing sessions and fishing. And he did promise, by the way, we can auction off a fishing tour with RCRC. We can put that in our
Really?
basket. Yes, he said that.
Holding you to that, I need.
Yeah, that's happening. That's like your last, going to be your last annual service project for us. So appreciate that, Scott, and wishing you both so much joy and adventure in your retirement. Thank you.
Yeah. I just want to say thanks for your service, Scott. It's been a pleasure to serve with you here on the board. I've always had an open door policy on questions or things that were going on in my district and throughout the county. So, but I really enjoyed going and watching you coach. You're a leader. You're able to lead young men, also your team that you have here at the county. I really appreciated that. And, obviously we have that together, just watching youth grow and go from there and be successful in life, come back and work here in the county or do whatever they're going to do. So I appreciated every conversation we had, whether it was about a project in my district or just things that you guys were doing during the worst storms that we've seen here in the county, the way that you led the team. So I appreciate that. Enjoy the retirement, man. Catch the hell out of those fish out there, man. All right, thank you. And thank you very much for allowing him to do this for all these years. So,
Scott, I want to thank you. I was the rookie supervisor. I think one of our first conversations, I settled in your office and you got that patient yet pained look like, oh, what's this guy want? And we got through that first awkward part, and then you hit a second gear where it's like, okay, open up a little bit. We're opening up and sharing a little bit. I want to highlight you are kind of a renaissance man. Your Public Works, Water Resources, CDD was in there for a while. The faith this board put in you then and puts in you now, continuing today as your retirement approaches, just speaks for itself. If we need a job that needs to be done and done well, we're going to turn to you. I oohed at the 1987 and the no computers too, and now I have this picture of you with a slide rule in some classroom. Doing engineering math. One thing I want to highlight, though, is it wasn't a intuitive role necessarily, but as an avid bass fisherman and just a sports enthusiast, you were, as the head of Water Resources, basically the first county responder to the Clear Lake Hitch emergency that we're now navigating. And I think your able leadership of Water Resources and Public Works during that initial period is going to pay dividends. I think the next budget and our ongoing hitch response will be some proof of that. So, we rise to the times as they present themselves, and you have risen to every challenge that I've seen, and I appreciate it so much. I am going to razz you later tonight, but one of the nicest things in the last meeting we had is you said that in your retirement you were going to be able to get to know Melody again, and I think that is so sweet. So to give her honor and acknowledgement here today, and the private acknowledgement you shared, it's just, you're a sweet, wonderful man, and I know you're embarrassed to hear that, but.
No. I want to make sure that there's some public here, there's some staff members, some colleagues that probably want to embarrass Scott a little bit longer. So please come on up to the podium.
I'm sorry.
Please come on up to the podium, one at a time.
I've been around a long time. I remember when you took over 2 other departments. But what really impressed me was your attitude when all your workers got their 2 or 3 year certificates. You were in here and you were so gun-ho, like a coach or a father. You really, the road crew, everybody, you were proud of them. And I really was impressed with that. You're a cheerleader for all of your staff. Thank you.
Thank you.
Morning, Supervisors. Scott, Melanie.
Good morning.
I'm Brad with Congressman Thompson's office, and I have the honor of presenting something to you that Mike presented to his colleagues on the House floor last Thursday. But before I read some of this, I just want to make two comments that Mike said to tell you. One, he's sorry he couldn't be here today, and two, that he too is a graduate of Chico State, and he goes around bragging that it is the Harvard of the California State University system. So don't forget that. Just to read a couple of paragraphs in this that he shared with his colleagues, because so much of what was said in the board proclamation is also said in here. But he said, Mr. Speaker, I rise today to honor Scott DeLeon, an esteemed member of our community. Mr. DeLeon is being honored for his over 23 years of dedicated service with the County of Lake and his 4 decades of contributions to our county. And then it goes through your life and your accomplishments, and he goes, Mr. DeLeon is the proud husband of nearly 30 years to his wife Melody and the father of 2 sons, Joseph and Max. Mr. Speaker and colleagues, we thank Mr. DeLeon for his dedicated service to our community. His passion, leadership, and unwavering commitment to the service have left an indelible mark on all of us. Therefore, it is fitting and proper that we honor you with this resolution here today, and it's signed by Mike, and it'll be permanently put in the House record. House record.
Yeah.
There you go.
Awesome. Thank you. Yes.
Real quick. So I've been very fortunate. I'm Glenn March. Scott's leaving, and I'm going to try to fill his shoes. So it's been really great getting to know Scott. And this week I've had my staff meetings and having to gotten the pleasure of getting to know Scott over the last two weeks. I told my staff that we need to be more like Scott. And we need to cherish our family, our friends, our family. And we need to put work in perspective with that. And Scott has done it so well. You know, I remind our staff they need to be more like Scott. So that's all I wanted to add, and it's been great.
Thank you, Glenn.
I'd like to apologize in advance for anything I might say to offend somebody.
We're going to need your name first for the record.
It's a shame you don't have one of your own. Rob Brown, Kelseyville. De Leon is one of the smartest, kindest, generous, most personable, hardworking people I've ever met, but we're not here to talk about Melody. So I'll get into Scott. And by the way, I see the flags on the dais there, and I'm glad you were able to make good use of some of Scott's old ties. Geez, just a joke. So, just like you, that you're mad at me, you know, I'll come up and talk. No, it was you that said that, right? You're mad at me, you want to talk or whatever. Well, I had that too. Ended up, you're mad at me, now is probably not a good time. So I try to avoid that. But we worked a long time together, and that rookie and that pained and patient look that you got also came when you're here 20 years. So you get that look from him once in a while at that point too. I'm fortunate enough to know Scott since those early days in the 80s, when he was a first county employee, if he remembers this or not, but we were building the county park in Kelseyville, right across from the pizza parlor there. and he was there to babysit an equally young equipment operator with junky old tractors that we were there at 6 in the morning and we'd have to knock off at 10 because it was so hot. The tractors couldn't operate until we'd come back again at 6 at night and work until dark. And I remember those days, and that's when I first met Scott, and I really liked him then and like him even more now. I've always appreciated working with Scott, not just as a coach, watching him as a coach to our youth and encouraging his employees to be coaches and that community involvement, but the coaching that he actually provided to his employees. Scott is the type of person, always has been the type of person that didn't pretend to know everything, but he was proud to be able to point you to the person that did know where the answer was and then give that person the credit that they deserve for having that information and having that knowledge. I see a crew here today that it's unbelievable. It doesn't match anywhere. I mean, they're great people, and some of these are generational. He's actually cultivated and brought them up. I see Jimmy here. Chris Prather's not here, but he's one of those examples of they started out at the bottom, they came up, and with his mentorship and his leadership, and that's what a good leader does. You know, they bring up people. They're not afraid to have them know more about a subject than what they know, and that's what I see. Lars, I see Scott, I see all these people that he encouraged to not just be good leaders, but then go off and be department heads themselves. And so some of his employees actually were able to go on to Caltrans and work less and make more. And but common sense, that's the one thing that you can't train that, and he always had that. He's always come up with solutions. Engineers do that type of thing anyway, but Scott was easy to talk to, and he listened to things. When the fires happened, we talk about these departments that came in, that where department heads left, and he took over and worked interim, sometimes almost permanent. The fires, when we had these fires starting with the Valley Fire, Scott was one of the first ones to step up and say, what do you need me to do? Sometimes it had absolutely nothing to do with his county skill or his training or his job. It didn't make any difference at all what it was. He was willing to do it and do it well. The benefit zones that you tolerated and helped me with, through that we were able to accomplish a lot, including we were able to pave more roads with the help of the community and your leadership on that than every other district combined. And it was just because we got the public to buy into it, and it worked out really well. I know I could go on for a long time because there have been decades of respect and admiration for both of you. The hard work that both of you have done. I talked to you the other day. This doesn't get accomplished with that just you by yourself or your staff. It's your family, and I'm glad you get to spend time with me, get them back. Thank you for giving us Scott. Thank you for letting us have him for all these years, all these decades. I thought you had finally accomplished everything there was when I saw Joan get up. I thought she was going to sing you a little song, but that didn't happen, so you still have not made it.
Anyone else wish to make a comment?
I'm already crying, so forgive me. Look this way. So if Scott is a man of few words, I'm a man of much less words, but also a man of a lot of tears. So forgive me. So Scott was my coach in more than one way. He coached me in football, coached me in basketball. I went on and coincidentally enough went into the same career field he did through a different path. I did not go to the Harvard of the CSU system, but I did go into civil engineering, and eventually I would find my way back here, and eventually working for Scott and for Melody. It was the three of us in the office. I've learned a lot from Scott, both what to do, what not to do, and I think you can learn in both ways. But I have learned much more about what to do, and one thing he obviously did not teach me is how to control your emotions. So maybe we need to back up a bit. But Scott has been a wonderful leader, wonderful mentor. I'm going to miss the times when we would just reach out and say, hey, listen, our departments are very similar, and what can how can I deal with this? What are you going through in this respect? He is a Renaissance man. He's also a man of he's confident. He knows what it takes to get stuff done, and I really respect that about you, Scott. Melody and Scott and I in the office. I mean, those are some great times. We're good friends. Look forward to your future because you will enjoy it. The words about Melody were wonderful. I admire that very much, and so. Before I say any more, with a lot of tears, I'll end it with just a grateful heart of thank you for coaching, for private sector mentorship, for public sector mentorship, and for friendship. So thank you both very much.
And I do not see anyone else getting up. I will make one last comment before we take a picture. There was one last conversation, not last conversation, but a conversation that I know I brought home because the simplicity of your philosophy is something that I will definitely hold on to and I want to share with the public and those in here. You were talking about when you coached and students weren't happy with what you did as a coach. And you just broke it down as simple as, if you don't like it, do better. And then you'll get the time that you want to play out there, or you'll get the position that you want to play out there. And you and I had a little situation, and you said, you know what, Bruno, I need to do better. And I think that's a philosophy we should all have. The results aren't always someone else that controls it. We get to have some control over the results, and we can all try to do better to get the results that we want. And I know that's something that I will always remember from our conversations we've had. It's a great philosophy, so thank you for sharing that with me. Let's do a photo op.
Yeah. Oh, good. That's better. That's Thank you so much. Appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.